So the state of OW2. A quick overview. I'm going to give you, first of all, an idea of what we're trying to achieve at the moment and what we're trying to offer our project. Then I will look at the evolution of the membership. Then I'll look at the evolution of our project. And I'll finish with what we do to outreach and to communicate with the market. So this is a quick overview. I'm going to be very honest and transparent and give you the real figures. They're not all so good, but they're not all bad either. And so we do carry on. First of all, our context is, of course, in the framework of the 4 freedoms of free software. The freedom to use the software for whatever purpose, the freedom to read the software, to read the code, the freedom to modify this code, and the freedom to redistribute modified versions of this code. And that goes way back, because that goes way back to the early 80s. Hence the kind of screen we had when we were dealing with this. We also come from Object Web, which in the early 2000s was a repository of code that was developed by a consortium of INRIA, Bull, and Orange. And they started developing this code base, but that was not a foundation. There was no organization around it. And that's why in 2007, we worked out a plan to develop an organization. And this is one of the slides we used in 2006 when we drafted the plan for OW2. And that's still very valid. And these are the components of OW2. First of all, it's a code base, because our mission is to develop a code base of open source infrastructure software. Then this code base is developed by a community, and we work for our members, for our community. This community works on the project in the framework of activities. These activities are the projects and what we call the initiatives, which are market-oriented activities. Everything operates in the framework of a transparent governance. And we are an independent, and we remain an independent organization because we rely on our members' fees. So we are really an independent, one of the top 5 independent organizations in the world, if we compare ourselves to the Linux Foundation, the Eclipse Foundation, the Apache Foundation, and the OpenStack Foundation. So we are the OW2 Consortium. We're not one of those foundations. And our job here as a foundation or a multi-purpose organization is to help develop an ecosystem. So because we understand that it's not about only technology, but it's about it's about welfare. It's about creating value and trying to control this value for the good of our members. So the organization we've put together has implemented this platform strategy. And the platform strategy is something that addresses more than one market. We address the users, but we also address the code producers. So as an organization, we work for the project leaders, we work for the developers, but we also work for the market. We try to address needs out there in the market, and we should help the market find our codes. To do that, we implement 3 kinds of services. A technical infrastructure, which are technical services to enable the project to work together. Then we provide community services, what we call community services, which we also call the governance, which is very important for us. And we also provide maybe outreach activities or marketing services to connect the project with the market. So these are our 3 types of services, and that's what for us constitutes, it's the basis of our platform strategy. But another word you need to have in mind, is, another concept is that of 3 layers, because that was a picture. But now how we develop this a long time, this is a slide I presented 2 or 3 years ago, which is a summary of how we've been evolving. We've evolved by positioning OW2 on certain technologies. We started with cloud computing. Now we are trying to be proactive in the big data area. We're trying to be proactive in the Internet of Things area. And we're also trying to be proactive in the privacy and security areas, which are 4 areas that, where we're trying to be proactive. We think our vision of the future is that applications in the future, we have that as a backdrop. Cloud computing, big data, privacy and security, and Internet of Things. So that's the technology positioning. But it's not enough to add this positioning. We need to have a quality project. And we have developed a quality program. We call it SQUAT at the moment, for software quality assurance and trustworthiness. We are working and involving it. And Stéphane Laurier, the CEO, OW2 CTO, will introduce the kind of evolution. We'll show you the kind of evolutions we are implementing. We may even change the name of this quality program. And this quality program, once we have quality project, we think we can expose them to the market. We think we can go to the market, we can be proud of them, and push them to the market. And pushing them to the market means, for us, developing a marketplace. So that's what we are busy doing at the moment within OW2, is developing the code base along these technology areas, making sure that our projects are quality projects, and then trying to push this market, or make this project easily accessible by users on the market. And to do this, we are implementing our governance strategy. And our governance strategy, if you look from left to right on this slide, means that, first of all, we need to be selective with our project. So we have been reconsidering our code base along the last 12, 18 years, and identifying and sorting the quality projects. And we ask the project to really implement best practices in project management. And that's why, for us, it's governance is important. It's part of the governance. Our expectation for the project to implement those best practices in open source project management is part of our governance, because the governance will be kind of helping them to do that, but also checking that. And that's what this little document with the pen means when we upgrade project from the incubation status to the mature status. And then we also have this quality program that we develop. This quality program has been developed by using quality tools, measurement tools, and we've also been leveraging a collaborative project financed by the European Commission called RISCOS that you see there, to try to put this together into and try to create like a single indicator or label or something that is specific to OW2, and that will make a difference for first the OW2 project, and then for OW2 as a community. So people will understand that these projects can be trusted and are quality projects. And then we have been busy developing the marketplace. So the marketplace is something now we can preview today, and that's very important. Today is very important because we're starting putting everything together. And this marketplace has 3 big parts, going from the bottom to the top. And we have been leveraging, again, a collaborative project financed by the European Commission to develop this. The first one is, the bottom one is the directory, which is the part where projects can be registered and can be discovered by the market. Then there's the factory, which is the part where you can create the templates that will help deploy this project very easily. So we want to make the project very easily accessible. And the next part is the store. And the store is where the project will be showcased, where the people will actually get to know what's the offering out there. So this today, the status of this today is that of a collaborative project. But then there is something else we're going to do specifically for OW2, and that's what I would like to call our enablement strategy, if you allow me this, with this word. Again, if you look at the left of this slide, we have this App Hub project. The App Hub project is developing the marketplace, and this marketplace today is developed for the benefit of other European projects, other SMEs, and for the OW2 project. Now, with the App Hub as a European project, the mission will be to make this the projects that are registered on the marketplace available. That's one thing. But what we're going to do with the OW2, and specifically the OW2 project after the end of this project, that is towards the end of 2016, it's something we're going to take this one step further. And that's why I call it enablement, is that the marketplace will be the place where the project leaders or the companies behind the project will be able to sell their additional services. They could be expertise, systems integration, hosting, complementary products, etc. So these will be available from the marketplace. And with this, we will help projects implement a true open source business model and monetize their development efforts. And that's what I call the enablement. That's where I want to use that word, enablement. I didn't find a better word, but it really means taking the OW2 project one step further and into the market. So that's what we're doing, and we're busy implementing it, and we will be showing you the quality program and the marketplace. Now, figures. I said I would be very honest, so I'm going to show you the figures about the corporate members, figures about the individual members, figures about the number of projects we have, and figures about the downloads on those projects. First of all, the corporate members and membership fees. We are a low-budget organization, so we have to be very lean, very agile, and concentrate on resources on where we make the most they're the most efficient and we make the best impact. So what we see here is that we've had an evolution. 2013 has not been a very good year for OW2, but I think we are recovering and we are getting signing up new members now. Individual members, you can see here the evolution of the individual members. And the colors on the right show the geographical footprint of OW2. But let's look at the left first. We've had a number of annual registration of individual members, and then there's been a drop. And the drop has been caused by the fact that we have changed our rules, meaning that we decided not to accept as individual members employees of corporate members, just because we cannot be bound with members with two contracts. So it's been a little bit complicated. But having done that in 2012, now you see the true evolution of real third-party individual members. And what I can say is that it's going up. Now, what you see on the right is what I call the geographical footprint of OW2. The inner circle shows the distribution, the geographic distribution of individual members, of the total number of individual members. That is, of the 2,140 members registered as of last week. And what the outer circle shows is the distribution of the new members that joined OW2 in 2015. So the difference there is that we did have a very strong percentage of French and European. It was about half and half. But what happened in 2015, for some reason, we can analyze that. And I think it's a part of our growing visibility within the European Commission, I think. We've had a very high number, or high proportion of new members from Europe, I mean from countries outside of France in Europe. I think this is a good sign because I think because developing our membership towards the other countries in Europe is one of our priorities. So that's for the individual members' evolution. Now, the new projects. We host today about 100 projects, out of which a good 50 projects are active and mature projects, which we can count on. And this line shows the project we are registering each year. And this year we are registering 5 projects. 2 of them are Passage and Artist, are projects from the European Commission, and the other 3 are third-party projects of companies that, except for Vespa, but companies that are not members of OW2. So it shows how we are becoming visible and attractive to the outside of the inner circle of our community. Of course, this is. I think it's. We can probably do better, but that's where the whole community has to become more active. The downloads. So you see the whole download transitions since the beginning of in 2002 of the repository. So what this line shows, first of all, is that it's a bit of a bumpy ride. It really depends on the success of some of the projects. So we had star project that suddenly disappeared because of an evolution, sudden evolution in the technology, then replaced by other projects. So it's a little bit, it's a bit bumpy, yes. And what the 3 lines show really is the very high impact of the top 10 projects in our code base. So there is a very high concentration and our activity. So does it mean that OW2 should concentrate its efforts on those top 10 projects? I'm not sure, because the next 10 projects maybe are the next top 10. I mean, if you understand what I mean. We have to we have to manage this churn rate and make sure that we always have a reserve of up-and-coming projects that are up and coming. But it's it's not the first time I see this, and it's been confirmed again this year that the top 10 projects are very important in terms of the number of downloads and maybe the influence of OW2 out there on the market. Right. Another type of project are the collaborative projects. I've mentioned the European Commission a couple of times. We are part of the European ecosystem, and we do spend a significant amount of our time working or being influenced or looking at projects that are financed by the European Commission. And OW2 has been reasonably successful in this environment because we are regularly invited to take part in some of those projects, because we are, as an open source community, we provide some sort of reference. We don't compete against any of the partners that may be in those projects. We have a good track record, and we are credible. So we are establishing OW2 as the reference open source organization in Europe and in the context of the European Commission. So I think we have this kind of recognition now, and actually we are meeting with them regularly to provide either recommendations on open source, and we are steadily trying to push and advocating for open source within the European Commission. And today we're currently involved in a number of projects, 3. There is one that is finishing, so it's 4, of which one is finishing. And we will be working on proposals, and we've already been invited to work on proposals. So now we're working on the project that will keep us busy in 2017 and 18. And these projects are important because many of the OW2 members actually participate in the consortiums and help build a project, and we develop this for the benefit of our members, but also, as I mentioned, for Riscos and AppHub and Ocean. These projects are, we choose the projects that are synergistic with what we want to achieve, and that help us actually develop what we want to provide for our community. So those are the collaborative projects. Now to finish, I want to show you what we do in terms of market outreach. We take part officially, not as speakers, but as an organization with a booth in about one event a month. We are regularly invited by event organizers. We can have a booth, or we can even, sometimes we are entrusted the organization of full sessions that we use to promote the community and to promote our open source project. And that also keeps the whole team pretty busy. In terms of governance, we have, at least 4 or 5 board meetings a year. So everything we do at OW2, and the team that does that is the management office, is done under the supervision and of the board of directors. So that's the outlook. If there is an event you want to see us in that is not on this list, please talk to me at the break. And we can always consider where we will be next month. We've done also something that I really want to highlight here, which is, and I hope you've noticed that, because I'm sure you go to our website regularly, that we've changed the look and feel of the website, and we've evolved the OW2 logo. So this is the new identity. You can see it on the screens, and it's something that we've decided to keep the OW2 thing, because OW2, although it's a hell of a word to pronounce in several languages, it's still an identity. So that makes the OW2 identity. It's our brand, and we've decided to keep it. We decided to evolve it a little bit, and that's now what we're going to do, to have. The website also, we've changed a little bit of the colors. So we keep the orange, which is our traditional color, but with a bit more blue in it. And you see the look into the website, which is now a website you can visit on your tablet or on your preferred smartphone. So that's kept us a little bit busy, because reorganize the website is also something we do. So who's been doing all that? Something else I need to show, which is something I haven't mentioned, which is on our minds. So there is so much to do. The help of the communities is welcome. These are some of the topics we have on our minds at the moment. Improving the RI for our OW2 members. I mentioned the European Commission commitment. Are we doing too much or not enough? The OW2 project governance is something that is very important, because you understand why we have this theme this year, the drive for open source governance, which is something we still have to fine-tune. It's never completely finished. The Technology Council activity is also something that we need to pay attention to. The collaborative project I mentioned, we have opportunities in China and Brazil, so how much we should spend, how much effort we should spend there. The development of the membership in Europe, it's something I've mentioned, which is one of our priorities. We're also thinking of stopping managing OW2 from a spreadsheet, but maybe moving to management software. There are relations with a big European project called Fireware, licensed IP, the marketplace development, I mentioned that. We'd like to sign a new strategic members, maybe in Europe. And then maybe we can change the status to foundation status, which is another thing that can be considered in order to make it financially more attractive for members to join OW2. So that's what we have. So you see our plates is quite full. And I must take this opportunity to really thank the team. You see the pictures there. So Stéphane Laurière is here, new CTO. He will be speaking in a minute. Martin Hamon, our sysadmin, who's standing there. Olivier Lizuna, who's up there looking after the slides. Thank you. Lakshmi, who's Amagopalan, who you've seen at the desk. Catherine Noël, who's organized this event, was there. Thank you, Catherine. Olivier Bouzereau, who's looking after the project and the community. And who could not make it, George Liu, who's our man in China. So that's these are the persons that run OW2, which is a small team, and in fact the real impact that OW2 makes on the market is not with this team, is really with your project and with the community. So this is it, and I don't know whether you want to ask questions or whether we have time for questions. Who's holding the time? You, Martin. And with this, I think I leave the floor to Stéphane Laurière, our CTO. Thank you very much.